expensive, but your phone bill should be. TextNow offers free talk and text plus free data for essential apps. And when the free data isn't enough, flexible data can be added with a click of a button. Unlimited data passes start at just 99 cents. So ditch your expensive phone plan and join over 100 million users who are already saving big. Download the TextNow app to get started.
Lately, I have learned some car accident look back to settlement insurance companies right after they come. Insurance companies tried to convince them to sign binding documents online, give up the right to pursue full value of their claim. If an insurance company is rushing you to settle your car accident injury claim, call me immediately. 800-602-5000. Do not sign anything until it's I do not help is my goal. Insurance company doesn't take advantage of you.
Again, man, been rocking with you for a long time. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm out with you guys later. What's going on the damn time from AntonDaniels.com? I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for coming in to another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. Man, I think I got some lotion in my mouth. What is that? You know how you put lotion on your hands and you rub it on your face after you wash your hands and all of that stuff? Yeah, man, we in the building. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? How y'all feeling? What's going on? We got Monday night tonight. Popping. Well, it's the last. The last. Time is completely different. You'll never get a second, another second. You'll never get an hour. Then you never get a day back. Mostly on things that's not even. I have this life a lot. I like to focus 98, 99% of my time on the things that I actually love and enjoy. Versus spending 1 or 2% of my time trying to fix situations. I'll run 100% with my situation versus things that don't. That makes sense. Anyway, up here the last Monday of 2024. I appreciate you. Please stay healthy. I'm Neil County Clerk of Court. What's going on? What's up, Ashley? 2025 on the way to a self-made forever and still building. What up, what up, what up, what up, all my friends and family. Make sure y'all just like your house. Just one day. One day at night. Feel like your house. Nothing like that. One day is most years. Let's just go ahead and go ahead. The first time here, don't worry about it. And you have to know the case. Wednesday, Thursday, and here versus what? That's the other day. I like that dude on that's it. I've ever met my entire life. Let me also well, guess what? Guess what? Side of the greatest audience Right? So do not say that you are going to win, right? You guys are great. And that you're going to be better. This is going to be the greatest year of your life. This is going to be the greatest year of your life. One more time. I got a first down. This is going to be the best year of your life. Maybe so far. Ready to run it up. Ready to run it up. Nobody nobody is going to stand in your way. There's nothing that they can't do. You are your own worst enemy. So the only person that you not is I don't care who it is. Like your life. Your baby mama, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, your friend, your family, yourself. Nothing that nobody is going to stop the best version of yourself. But it takes every day you got. Every day you gotta go. I don't care what happens. I don't care what happens. I had to go on this and I have my laptop. Prepared. I got stuff to do. I got to turn my laptop tomorrow. I got to get stuff on my work laptop. Prepared for that. Tomorrow. It's things that I have to do.
I got my credit with my rent payment for free. Thank you. No. I stumbled on this thing to use
That you have to get. You want something you never had before, you don't have to do something you never done. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expect to get the result. You can't. You got it. Alright, let me go ahead and get started with yourself. One family back to work. Congratulations. P. Shank is in the building that says morning. Okay? Life is the reach says love the content and information you bring while other platforms do not show. And this is my first time on the live. Welcome, Life is the reach. What's up, baby? Let's look at work, brother. We're going to run it up. All right, so I got a full show for you guys today. We're going to talk about a lot of different things, including the plane crash in South Korea. We got to go over homeless. We got to go over California. The worst governor. We got things up. Oh, over New York. We got to talk about that. Lord, bless everything that comes out of our mouth to be edifying to our body and to be edifying to our souls. Give us growth. Give us endurance. Give us character. Give us wisdom to know when and when not to do these things. Be wiser, smarter, not just irreverent. Remove emotion. Remove the emotional decisions or replace it with logical decisions. That's going to be in the best interest of ourselves and the people that's around us. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get started with the show. We don't necessarily think we need to dedicate an entire segment to, but we definitely want to see y'all in the room what's going on in the street. All right, first things first. Know the state of what's going on in America and in the world. The state of what human beings are like. New York City, infant found abandoned in a tow bag outside.
Police need your help finding a person who abandoned a baby this happened in the Bronx.
That infant baby girl was found wrapped in blankets inside of a tote bag, which was left outside of an apartment building. Let's get right to good news. Briella Commissary, she joins us from the Longwood section of the Bronx with more. And Briella, do you know the baby girl's story this morning? She was behind me will lead them to an arrest. Those cameras, that video rather, shows the moment that a baby girl was abandoned here in the Bronx. Take a close look at your screens. Happened over the weekend. Police now searching for this person who was last seen wearing a black hooded jacket, light pants, and white sneakers. According to the YPD, the first police responded to a 911 call for a crying baby just after 6 o'clock yesterday morning on Reverend James A. Polite Avenue here in the Longwood section. The newborn was allegedly wrapped in a blanket inside of the construction stable conditions where she needs to care for. A person of this he was at the mosque early in the morning when his neighbor calls to alert him about the shocking discovery.
When you guys okay, there's a lot of this is a life person that you decide to have children with. Please do not make your children pay for the decisions that she made bad. This is not a decision to be taken lightly. I know a lot of y'all just want to have another baby mama to look like you. And why do it seem like when it gets cold outside, people do some of the most egregious things when it comes to children? I don't know what that is. Anyways, a couple of passings over the weekend. The first passing was former President Jimmy Carter, one-term president, passing over this past week.
This is an ABC News special report. The death of President Jimmy Carter.
I'm Mary Bruce at ABC News headquarters in New York. We are coming on the air at this hour because we have just learned that former President Jimmy Carter, the 39th President of the United States, has died. He was 100 years old. His passing comes
When I was younger, my calling was to play football.
77 years in childhood sweetheart, the couple inseparable in life and even in death. Jimmy Carter attending his wife's memorial service, determined to be there, to be with her, despite being in hospice care since February of last year. The service for Mrs. Carter also attended by President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden, along with the former President Bill Clinton, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and former First Ladies Michelle Obama, Laura Bush, and Melania Trump. The former president had several health setbacks in recent years. The Carter Center announced after a series of short hospital stays, he had decided to end further medical treatments. He chose to receive hospice care at his home for the remainder of his life. Rosalind Carter also entered hospice care in the final days of her life after being diagnosed with dementia. A lifetime together, the couple celebrated their 77th wedding anniversary in July of 2023. A one-term president, Jimmy Carter faced domestic setbacks, a challenging economy, and the Iranian hostage crisis during his 4 years in office. The former president and first lady, though, may be best known for what they accomplished after their time in the White House. Jimmy Carter transforming the traditional role of ex-presidents by remaining a public figure and traveling the globe as a fierce defender of human rights through the establishment of the Carter Center. Like her husband, Mrs. Carter was devoted to public service. She was also a staunch mental health advocate and humanitarian. A lifetime together, they were partners in every sense of the word.
Yeah, that's a good life. That's a full life. Isn't it crazy how it's rare for people to actually live a full, good life? Like, you might even get one or the other, but a lot of times you don't usually get both. You don't usually get people that live to be 100 years old, especially today. You have a less of a chance. You have a greater chance of dying before your 21st birthday, especially if you're born in certain areas, than you do as living 100 years old and good and being able to pass away. That's a relatively good life. Like, that's not nothing to mourn. That's not nothing to get sad about. That's not any of that. That's honestly, that's a celebration. We spend more time focusing on how you're gonna die I remember they had a series called something 100 Ways to Die, something like that. We spend more time focused on how you gonna pass away than we do on celebrating and enjoying life. If you can get past at this point, if you can get past 75 without having cancer or limbs cut off or accidents where they maim you, you ain't had no Parkinson's or nothing like that. When Bruce Willis out here shaking, all of these actors are small growth, they gotta go back to work. People complaining about having to return to work and all of this stuff, man. Listen, it's tough out here. Also, Greg Gumbel passed away. He was 78. That's a pretty full life.
Some sad news to report. Legendary broadcaster Greg Gumbel, a widely respected and groundbreaking voice for the past 3 decades on CBS Sports, has died after a battle with cancer. Gumbel is most well known for covering the NFL and college basketball. Along with Phil Simms, he formed CBS's lead NFL announcing team for 6 seasons and called 2 Super Bowls. In 2001, he became the first African American to do play-by-play for a major sports championship in the United States when he called Super Bowl 35 for CBS. For more than 25 years, he was a staple for college basketball on CBS as a studio host, most notably from Selection Sunday all the way through the Final Four. His historic career of over 50 years brought him to other audiences. He worked both the Summer and Winter Olympics, the World Figure Skating Championships, and he once had play-by-play duties in New York for the Knicks and also the Yankees. The family put out a statement on Friday, which reads in part, "It is with profound sadness that we share the passing of our beloved husband and father, Greg Gumbel. He passed away peacefully, surrounded by much love after a courageous battle with cancer. Greg approached his illness like one would expect he would, with stoicism, grace, and positivity." David Burson, president and CEO of CBS Sports, also put out a statement. The CBS Sports family is devastated by the passing of Greg Gumbel. There has never been a finer gentleman in all of television. He was beloved and respected by those of us who have the honor to call him a friend and colleague. It is an extremely sad day for all of us at CBS Sports and the entire sports community. We will miss Greg dearly and send our deepest condolences to his wife Marcy, daughter Michelle, and his entire family.
Is 78 years old. Is that a? I know cancer is not necessarily that's all that's and then people are actually voting. They were trying to say that they want our pay attention to what was going on right every day. When you go outside of the country, I think this is probably more prevalent inside of Japan than anywhere else. In Japan, ironically, it's the place where people live the longest. They have the longest lifespan. And usually, even when they pass away, it's relatively good health. People really do. They have like different food, appetite, talent, work ethic. They don't believe in retiring. They believe in being active and making money and being a contributor into their society and their communities their entire life. It's funny how different it is here than it is everywhere else. In Japan, where they live the longest and they're the healthiest, they got a different food palette, and they don't believe in retirement. We are trying to figure out how we can work
to retire.
They look at me completely funny. Is 78 a full life to y'all? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's your quick hits, all right? So, just wanted to give some acknowledgement to some of the legends that came before us, bring y'all the news on that front. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to continue on with the show. Shout out to Jerry, my girl, my favorite girl, says there are safe haven laws in every state. There's absolutely no excuse for this. God bless his baby. Crazy, man. Shin C, shout out to you. Salute to you. Roy Parents says, thank you. What you do? Like, you want to take it back to me. Oh, that's pretty dope. I appreciate it. Chase Barnes says, happy Monday. AD&P. I have an interview today to talk about this. Watch the interview like the King video on Saturday. Please look at me. I'm going to claim it. A new position for New Year's all you do bank stations for tell us about Chase Barnes. Ron you're gonna get that if that's what's best for you. But just the thing says, time don't mean that anyone has to get into prioritization over whatever. I'm a bad chaser in 3 years, and I want to work with you. When I open back up coaching, the people that get priority is the people that were reoccurring calls. Because you're a chaser, obviously I take that into consideration, and I look at it on a case by case basis. So, but the people that I always want to reach out to the people that were on a reoccurring call because they were dedicated to it, and then I figure it out from there. So, if you are a chaser, obviously I take that into consideration. Saucy says my neighbor just passed at 94 years old. That sounds like a life well lived. That sounds like a life well lived. Make sure y'all hit a like up. The algorithm subscribe to the channel, notifications. And let's get to it. All right. So the first thing that I want to address, and the first thing that I want to bring forth, is this plane crash that happened over the weekend. All right, South Korea, plane crash, and the people died. They say it's two people that survived. 149, I believe, people passed away. But they said that the plane crash, the thing that killed them was a concrete wall. Check it out.
South Korea's acting president has declared 7 days of national mourning as details continue to unfold surrounding South Korea's deadliest air accident in decades. Officials have confirmed that a Mayday call was made by the pilot of the inbound flight from Bangkok due to a bird strike on the aircraft before attempting an emergency landing. 179 people died in the crash. Two crew members who were in the tail section of the plane incredibly survived. The NTSB now leading a team of U.S. investigators.
So much for all with it going first class.
To assist South Korean authorities. CNN's Mike Valerio is at the crash site in Mulan, South Korea, and has this report.
Well, we're getting a better sense of how expansive the debris field is, and right now we're only a couple yards away from the epicenter of the debris field. That is the tail section of the Boeing 737-800. It managed to survive relatively, and I stress relatively, intact, 15 yards high. And this is the section of the plane where the two survivors were pulled from, rescued by first responders minutes after this plane was engulfed in flames. So we're going to pan to the left. That's where you can see this massive yellow crane that will be charged with moving pieces of the wreckage. So we're going to pan down, and you can see parts of the aircraft that were hurled, jettisoned beyond the cinder block perimeter of the airport. And this is what investigators from South Korea, the NTSB from the United States, will be pouring over, scouring over, as they investigate certainly what went wrong and were there any mechanical issues that contributed to the landing gear not deploying. But, I think we got a better sense during the day as we pan further to my right, just showing you that some of this debris was pulled from the aircraft a distance longer than a football field, just to give you the sense of the force of this crash. During the daylight hours, we saw tray tables, yellow inflatable vests, seats that were mangled, and members of the military that were combing this area that we're looking at after sunset, looking.
And bodies. Throw that in there. And bodies. When you get on a plane, most of the time, you know what's so funny? We get so much visibility. Let's just take, for example, the plane crash. That is going to get a ton of visibility. That's going to be a thing that's going to be front page news. Oh my God, plane crash, Boeing 737. You are like, die in a car crash. Or if you drive in Chicago on the south side. You're like 200 million times more likely to die in a car crash than you are in a plane crash. And they're going through and they're giving you the insight. We're going to get to that in a second. But you're like 200 million times more likely to die in a car crash than you are in a plane crash. But because of the way that they market it, we're more scared to jump on a plane than we are in a car. Ain't that crazy? We just get in the car and we don't even think twice about it. I know I do. I'm not afraid.
I like having with others.
Straight to it. We in it. We jump in the car. Oh, a lot of us take off our seatbelts on and all of that. but you are way more at risk. We want to get our kids licensed when they're 16 years old. You're way more at risk than trying to run a plane. So I don't think that this necessarily means that you should be fearful of flying, but let's get more to
For potential human remains, looking for passengers' belongings, and cataloging.
somebody said you better start asking questions instead of believing all the okay. You ask questions. Let me ask y'all a question. I like to come up with my own theories based off my lived experiences and looking at the details of a lot of different things. Maybe not this one so much so, but I come up with my own theories on a lot. Let's say, for example, you start asking more questions, and then what? And then what? What you gonna do about it? Just be curious. Because I'm not gonna be curious that start getting woke, and then what? When you wake up and then what? What adjustments do you make? Because I often say that life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. So then, what course of action do you take when things are going? What let's say that so conspiracy, you don't ever truly have the truth to justify whatever it is you believe. But let's say, for example, your conspiracy theory, and then what? How does your life go? Okay, so you get to the truth, Gilly, and then what? It reminds me of when people say, I want you to acknowledge that racism existed, that black people were oppressed. I'm like, okay, I acknowledge it. Do you feel like a lot of fans, the chat is my co-host, and I like to ask questions or I like to have conversations and go back and forth. And I'm not criticizing, right? This is one of those instances I'm genuinely asking questions on what happens next. Like, I want to know how people move differently. Okay, you get the information. What does that translate into? Most people don't change their lives when you go along and gossip anymore. And they say, hey, have you talked about this? Like, yeah, I talked about it. And you give me more coverage. Okay, and then kind of, I just trying to figure out what, like, because my mind works differently. When I find out stuff and when I do dive into stuff, I'm doing it in order to make change. Maybe I'm going to vote differently. Maybe I'm going to vote from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party. Maybe I'm going to make a different decision on how I eat. Maybe I want to go and go into a different industry when I find out that this is the way that it's moving. Like, I want to do stuff. And it may not be big stuff to you, but it may be big stuff to me. I always try to figure out, like, do y'all decide that y'all going to vote? Or do y'all want that information? Or do you decide that you're not going to vote even more, that you wasn't going to vote, that you was never voting in the first place? Like, what happened? Because even the biggest conspiracy theorists, honestly, are people that don't participate in the legislative process. They don't participate in the political process. They just be told, y'all better wake up. Like, all right, my eyes is open now.
Logging certain elements of the aircraft, certain pieces of the aircraft. We are waiting for the NTSB team to get on the scene to begin their work. That is the next part of this equation when it comes to the investigation, figuring out what went wrong. And we do know that one of the black box components has been damaged, and it's questionable, an open question rather, whether or not it will have to be sent to the United States for examination.
Somebody said, let me get back to this link, Brad. Somebody said, make that prepare yourself for what is to come. Like what? How are you going to prepare yourself? I was thinking about it last night, and this is the honest to God truth from my father's spirit. I was thinking to myself, man, what would I do if it was like a zombie apocalypse? And then I was playing out all these different scenarios, whether I was in the suburbs when it happened, or whether I was in, down here, down south, or whatever. And it's like, I was thinking about all of the previous movies where they had a zombie apocalypse. like 28 Days Later, World War Z, Walking Dead series and stuff like that. And I don't know, my brain just be going into different stuff. I don't know, maybe it's something I've seen on TV or whatever. I know it was a new movie called 28 Years Later that's about to come out or something like that. And you do what you can until you don't do nothing no more, I guess, right? Like, what would happen if there was a nuclear fallout? What would you do? It's like, you die. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't proactively prevent the person in office that's ultimately going to press the button for a nuclear fallout, like, you prepare yourself for what's next.
Without the ones like you working tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. No matter your industry, Granger's here for you with professional grade supplies. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
You know, they went to the airport that day and they said, man, I'm about to fly into South Korea and I'm about to get it, have a good time, and I'm about to go visit friends and family, and maybe some people would consider themselves hardcore bros and sticks. None of them knew. None of them knew. Ignorance is kind of a blessing for these things, because none of them knew what was going to happen. If you were able to predict what was going to happen, if you knew what your last day on earth was going to be, how would you live it differently? Because we're supposed to be living our lives, and this is why I leave it all on the flow. We're supposed to be living our lives as though every day is our last, because we don't know what is going to happen. We take life for granted a lot of times, right? And so for me, I just leave it on the flow every day. I leave it on the flow every day. Honestly, seriously. No matter what I do, I'm gonna leave it on the floor. If me and you in the bed together and we busting it open, I'm gonna leave it on the floor. If I'm at a party and all I'm doing is drinking at a meetup, I leave it on the floor. I'm there till I'm not, but when I'm there, I'm leaving it on the floor. With every performance, with every live stream, with everything that I do in corporate America, whatever it is that I do, I leave it on the flow every single day. I leave nothing to chance. I live every day like it's my last. Every day. So if you knew, because I think that a lot of people got it mixed up. Y'all act like y'all want to be woke, but y'all really don't. If you had the information, if you knew what your very last day on this earth was gonna be, how would you live your life differently today? And why aren't you? If you knew what your very last day on this earth was gonna be, how would you live your life differently? And why don't you? Why don't you live like that now? Under the assumption that you don't know when your last day is gonna be. All of us think for some reason that we're gonna be 80 and 90. No, we not. No, we not. Not all of us. We keep talking about what's gonna happen in the future. Your last day could be 3 weeks from now. We don't know. I'll leave it on the floor. I leave it on the floor. I do everything I can and then I leave it on the floor.
One, South Korea.
But more information this morning is coming to light this morning in the deadly Jeju airline crash that left 179 people dead in South Korea. Officials now say that the pilot made a mayday call, reporting a burst just before the emergency landing at Muan Airport. South Korea's acting president ordered an emergency safety inspection of the entire country's airline operations system. Let's bring now aviation attorney Justin Green, who joins me here to discuss. Justin, great to have you in the studio this morning.
Thanks for having me.
You have been a part of litigation with crashes in the past like this. I'm curious what your first top line reactions when you see that pretty horrific video.
Well, I think the first thing my heart goes out to the families. 179 families now are suffering and looking for answers, and they're going to find that the answers are relatively slow in coming. The second issue is we kind of know what happened. You know, we have video of what happened. The airplane did a belly up landing. They did it fast. They ran off the runway. They hit a wall. They burst into flames. The big issue is, why it happened, and the investigation is going to look at every single factors. But the key pieces of evidence are going to be the black boxes, the digital flight data recorder, the cockpit voice recorder, and then the actual wreckage. The wreckage, most of it burned up, but the engines are really the key pieces. And the mayday call about a bird strike, they're going to look at both engines and try to determine what caused what it looks like a loss of power.
Yeah, and say more about that because as we hear about possible causes, bird strike, as you just pointed out, we're now hearing that the pilot made that Mayday call. Obviously, the landing gear. Clearly, there was an issue with the landing gear that malfunctioned. But multiple aviation safety experts that I spoke to yesterday on our air said those are independent issues. One should not impact the other. And I'm just sort of curious if you think that maybe more than one factor was at play here.
Well, in almost every major accident nowadays, there is more than one factor. A single point failure is not supposed to happen. Aviation safety is based on redundancy. So they have two engines, they have multiple hydraulic systems, they have backup systems. So in here, you have a confluence of factors that most likely cause it, which may include problems. The bird strike seems to be the initiating factor. But what happened to the system after the bird strike and how the pilots handled it, that's going to be the focus of the investigation. Answers are going to come out relatively soon once the data from the black boxes are downloaded.
Is that the type of information that you would expect to be also released publicly relatively soon? Because I imagine you have 179 people who didn't live.
Nothing is going to be released relatively soon because they got to make sure that they mitigate the damage and the potential payout that they got to have for the families that were affected by this whole plane crash. Nothing is going to be released soon. Everything is going to be meticulously poured over.
That there is a chance that there could be litigation following this.
Yeah, there almost certainly will be litigation. The airline, under the international law, owes a responsibility to the family to compensate them for their losses. But the focus really has to be on aviation safety. And one of the reasons that they want to let out information early on is to let the whole aviation community kind of know what's happening. So if this is a bird strike incident, every other operator, at least probably of any airplane, but certainly of next gen 737, that's going to want to know what the data is. So when the NTSB investigates, this accident is going to be investigated by the South Koreans. But when the NTSB investigates an accident, they'll release a preliminary report pretty soon after the accident to give the basic facts. And I expect that we will soon learn basic facts about this accident.
How much does it differ in this plane crash compared to some of the others, including some that you have been associated with? How different is it that we have the black box reporters, that we have two survivors, two crew members who perhaps have an even more sophisticated understanding?
And those crew members are going to be deposed before they ever able to show
of what was happening just before this crash. How rare is that?
It's not rare.
Okay.
Remember Malaysia 370? They lost the airplane, so they never got the black boxes. So we all speculated. We have pretty informed ideas of what happened there.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened.
They never got the black boxes. Get the heck out of here.
Because the black boxes were not available. Almost every accident, even if it crashes into the ocean, they'll eventually find the black boxes, bring them up, and download them. So it's not rare. We have plenty of evidence. We have video evidence. We got air traffic control, communications. We're going to have the black boxes. This is not going to be a mystery for long.
I mean, just talk to me. I mean, having worked with the victims of those who have perished in plane crashes before. I mean, what that process is like now for all of those families.
It's really, really horrible.
Yeah, we all know that it's horrible. I don't believe that they wasn't able to find the black box for that later crash at all. A lot of people think that the 737 and the Boeing didn't have anything to do so far from what I've been seeing for this crash over in South Korea. It had nothing to do with the plane itself. They're saying that the bird hitting the plane or whatever it is a completely separate issue from what happened on the runway, because the way that people died had nothing to do with the plane plummeting and falling to the ground. It had everything to do with the fact that it crossed the runway and it ran into a concrete wall, which then burst the entire plane, almost the entire plane in the flames. So I'll stay on top of this and I'll keep you guys updated on what's happening. Let me go ahead and continue on with the film and read the chat on. Shout out to Well Done Says, and it was Boeing Aircraft coming soon. Surrounded by yellow stars, says Kelly Hill. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate you. Self-Made Rapper says, blessings to AP for all the content I was giving out this year, and from the Millionaire Morning Show to the Patreon. I pray as a movie channel soon, breaking down budgets, actors, ratings. 2025 is on the way. Is that what y'all want? I gotta look at the schedule and see what the message is though. Mr. Locke says most people need right more than they want to inform. Okay. And how often do you check actually got people that check my email more than get hundreds of emails every single day. Victor Frost has aided to pray that away. That dusty spirit today, you don't need that today. Check or get it and put up and make the most. I'm a little different on the weekend than I am on the weekend. But you ain't gotta worry too much about it. Life to live or network says, what do you think is going to happen? The boring stop. The Boeing, yes, you think the Boeing plane malfunction. I don't think that has anything to do with it. Boeing stock. I tell people inside of the Patreon, make sure y'all join Stock Club. I tell people inside of the Patreon to never invest in an airline, whether you're doing it to the manufacturers or you're doing it to the industry themselves. I don't care if it's Delta, Southwest, whatever. You never invest in it. That's just a rule of the bag chasers. We don't invest in the airline industry itself. We also don't invest in the hospitality. None of the hotel chains, any of that stuff. It's the first thing that goes under, it's the first thing that suffers and carries too much debt. But I'm not going to get into it. Make sure y'all Real Folks says the price went up. Well, Annie Marie, shout out to you for the super sticker. I appreciate you, Annie. Jay Reed 24 says, salute to everything you're doing, Anton. New subscriber and supporter. Blessings to you and your family in New Year. Also, salute to you for the in the chat. Where's the meetup? Alright. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications. Chris Cunningham says, off topic, how can I give you my thoughts on your review video with the BM crying? I don't know, I guess leave a comment. I don't know, maybe I'm going to put together some way for people to be able to get their feedback more effectively directly to me. Maybe I'll do more lives on the Anton Daniels channel, you never know. Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Let's rock, alright? Second thing that I want to address and talk about on this show today is the New York Police Department. So we got to bring them to the front. Both correctional officers and the police department. The reason that I want to do this is because I've seen this story because y'all sent it to me. And I think that it's something that we need to address and value because I always hold people accountable for what they do to police officers. You know that I am a heavy advocate for supporter of police officers throughout the United States of America. I think that those are truly the heroes. Police officers.
I'm Jared Blakely from Blakely Law Firm. And I know you have a lot of choices when you're deciding which firm is going to represent you for your car accident case. That's why I'm always honored when Blakely Law Firm is hired to represent someone for their car accident injury. I fight my hardest to pay your trust, my very best effort, as much money as possible. Personally work every single case. Call 1-800-602-5000 so we can talk about what Blakely Law Firm can do for you. That's 1-800-602-5000.
Instead, Fox 8's Morgan Mackay has been reviewing the incident. She joins us live from the newsroom. Morgan, more than a dozen correction officers were involved in this. Bianca Natasha, it's a tough video to watch. Robert Brooks died shortly after this alleged assault. His family has seen the videos, but due to the graphic nature of the body camera footage, Fox 5 has decided to only show images of part of this alleged beating. These videos are shocking.
I hate Letitia James so much. It's very hard to find somebody. I might hate Letitia James. You know, just her visual representation on this video makes me angry. The fact that I gotta look at Letitia James is despicable. It takes away from the whole story. Letitia James is trash. I can't even stand seeing this one. Absolute trash and garbage, in my opinion. I don't like even seeing the look of this chick. Just so evil person in life.
Disturbing, and I advise all to take appropriate care before choosing to watch them. The state attorney general's office released this footage recorded on body cameras worn by 4 correctional officers at the Marcy Correctional Facility in central New York. These videos, which have no audio, show Robert Brooks being carried into the infirmary by correctional officers. Brooks's hands are handcuffed behind his back when officers start punching him. They then hoist him up by his neck. Very
Question. Question. With all of the body cams, why would you do this? Let's remove how bad of it is. Let's just say, hey man, we're gonna be smart about our crime because crime happens everywhere. And as long as you have humans involved, there will be some bad actors. I think that the bad actors will be but hear me out. When I see cameras, when I know that cameras, I instantly get a little bit more. Mind, even if we're not doing nothing, even if nothing is happening today, when I see people pull out a camera, I can sense something. You know what I'm saying? And I can just be chilling or whatever. Minute when I started seeing people do like this, I was over my mother on Christmas Day. My mother had some of her friends over, and they didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm assuming that they didn't know who it was. It was, older women, couples, and stuff like that. And she was like, hey, y'all. Hey, y'all, stuff like that. And you know me, I was like, because I don't know who you are. I don't know what this is going to. I don't know if it's on Facebook. Usually older people, they like to use Facebook. They're not posting it to X. They start to get a little bit more intuitive when it comes to TikTok. But the minute that I start to see cameras, I just naturally be like, I just went ahead and start going to sleep. And so when you see this, you telling me now one person, knowing that the camera, the body cam footage was happening, not one person, not one, was like, hey man, hey, bro, no, I ain't know we was going that far. I ain't know that we was going to that way. We gotta chill out, bro. Not one person, not one strong person, strong-minded person said, hey, bro, I don't think this, hey, man, chill out, bro. Wait, you ain't even got to make a big deal about it. Not a big deal. Hey, hold on. You know they throwing out charges for that, right? Now, one person, never in my life, and say, hey, man, this ain't bro, I'm out. I have always been a good ride down the street with Dover. Even if I was in my room, even if I was in my room punching in air, because me alone wouldn't give me no box. I've always, some people are the doughboys of the world. Other people are the rich. I've always been hey, Doe, stop the car. Hey, man, I said stop the car, bro. You stop the car, I'm gonna jump out. No, I didn't jump out the car, bro. Why would I've always been the person that was like, hey, man, I thought that it seems like we're going down the wrong street. I think I just got a sign for God. Let me out the car, though. Now, y'all friends, y'all going the wrong way. Ain't nobody of all these correctional officers ever said, you know what? This don't look like that it's going that way. This don't look good. I've seen a lot of police officers, even people that crucify police officers that justify who did something the right way. Yeah, they're not playing on this. It's open season on correctional officers and police officers right now. And we got body cam. I don't want that problem, bro. I don't want that problem. I'm going to go ahead and involve myself. I don't care with y'all. I don't share with y'all. I'm out. I know they about to I don't want to be part of it.
Forcefully, and one officer started to smack Brooks with a shoe. One officer then used his booted foot to kick and pin down Brooks.
Another officer punched Brooks in his upper body, and one of the officers again punched Brooks while handcuffed. At one point,
A lot of
Brooks
y'all ain't watch what he said. Go watch what he said. Hey, dog. Yeah,
was sat up with his face bloodied, and an officer punched him again. Brooks was then pulled up by his collar and forced to the wall.
somebody said correctional officers that immunity is on the way. That's not true. That's not true. Immunity is not, listen, police immunity or immunity for correctional officers does not apply when you go outside of the rules and regulations. It does not apply. That is the biggest lie that they told y'all during this election process. It does not apply to people that go outside of their training. What it does do is it's supposed to protect your personal assets when you are within the training, yet the police department still faces lawsuits and or persecution for what happened, and you just follow the training. So it becomes more burdensome or cumbersome when the police department issues their training their officers properly versus just letting them go and figure it out for themselves. All right, and then put more responsibility on the body to make sure. Do not, in any way, shape, or form, be misinformed. This is why knowledge is power and key. Y'all listen to TikTok, y'all think that y'all just making sense. That's not applicable